first of all, before I get directly into specifics of the game, I just want to say that yesterday was a lesson for you, for me, for every Dolphin out there. I'm not going to talk about NFL fans because they don't give a crap about our Dolphins, just like we don't give a crap about the other 31 teams in the league. It's not something that's important to us. We follow it, we understand it, we keep up with everything, we're informed, all that stuff, but we care about the Aqua and Orange, especially on this show, right? Normally, our attitudes are fourth preseason game. Oh, who cares? The casual Dolphin will never even watch the final preseason game. It's hardcore people that watch the fourth preseason game, or in this case, the third preseason game. And people that are tuning in right now, these are the people I'm talking about. The people that download the show throughout the day and the night into the evenings on weekends. These are the people that I'm talking about. The people that are on our show, people that are hardcore. We watch the third preseason game. We watch it from beginning. We watch it to the end because we love the team and we're intrigued about every position, not just all 53. We're intrigued about who's going to go on the practice squad, all of that. We give a shit. Okay, that's the bottom line. We care about the Dolphins. And let me tell you something. For anybody that has the attitude that the game doesn't mean anything, why don't you tell Jared Dokes that? Why don't you tell Kirk Merritt that? Okay? Why don't you tell Reed Sinnett that? You know what I'm saying? And when you watch what happened yesterday, and remember we talked about this on Saturday, I think, on the show that I told you, don't underestimate this game. It's got plenty of storylines. And we walked out of that game going, wait a minute, do the Dolphins have a third quarterback? Like, who notices the third quarterback? And then you watch the kid play and you're like, wait a minute, okay. And then you're watching the game and you're like, wait a minute. The Jared Dokes kid could help out on short yardage situations. You know what I'm saying? He had a decent game. He's a bigger back. So do you keep him or Patrick Laird? Patrick Laird, you know what I'm saying? And then you watch Kirk Merritt. And that comeback and the throw that Reed Sinnett made to Myrick and the way that game ends and the fact that you're trying to win the game the entire time, which again was a theme that I talked about, I believe on Saturday or Friday, that I explained that, when people are complaining about going from Tua to Fitz to Tua, whatever, and I explained to you guys that Flo just cares about winning. So when he goes from Fitz to Rosen to Fitz, whatever, it's because he wants to win. And he's trying to find a better angle to winning. And at the moment, if you're not helping me win, then I'm going to get the next cornerback. And I'm going to get the next running back. And I'm going to get the next lineman. I'm going to get the next line coach. All of those kind of things. And watching that game yesterday was one of the most entertaining preseason games I have seen in a long, long time. And as a Dolphins fan, I was happy for a lot of those guys there because those are the guys that aren't going to get a lot of playing time. I thought for sure Jacoby Brissett would play some. Maybe some of you did too. But, thinking about it going, it makes a lot of sense. Why are you going to play your important backup quarterback at this point in time? Give Reed the 4 quarters. See what the kid can do. And the kid played with moxie. Made plays, didn't get down on himself on the interception. It was a fun-ass game yesterday, man. I never felt like I was in the doldrums of the preseason. The entire time I watched that game, I had a smile on my face because I'm watching some young Dolphin do something. And I'm saying, hey, wow. This is intriguing. And we're going back and forth on Twitter with you all about, certain decisions that are going to have to be made at wide receiver, at running back, offensive line, defensive, all these kind of things. And that's why, because this game actually mattered. This game enlightened. This game could have created trade value for the Dolphins. Do you realize that? There's all kinds of things that came out of this game, which was really freaking cool. And so I think, the next time, next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, when we're talking about the preseason and we're talking about that third game, and then the listener chimes in or somebody says on Twitter, "Oh, who cares about this game?" We're going to go, "Hey, man, you remember 2021? You remember that last game? This is an example of why you watch." And in a way, I compare it a lot to how the Heat have made summer league matter. So we're going and, oh, Breonte Weber, who's this kid? You know what I'm saying? And we're starting to look at, all right, so who's this Duncan Robinson kid? All right, he's shooting pretty well, and and now it's Max Strus and you'd save it and all that kind of crap that we love now because the Heat can actually find people that matter in the summer league. Just because you're undrafted doesn't mean you suck. Actually, if you're undrafted, you might end up getting a $90 million contract. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe this Strus kid is going to be the other shooter that he need this year after you got rid of a couple of guys that helped you out in that area. You know what I'm saying? So this was the same kind of thing yesterday, watching it going, okay, who are the young cats that may have some potential? Larnell Coleman obviously did not help himself yesterday. You kind of looked at him and said, yeah, that's practice squad right there. Kirk Merritt, what do you do? See what I'm saying? So it was a fun game. A lot of fun yesterday. That's the first thing I want to say. I'm proud of those guys. They entertained the hell out of us yesterday. I was out of my seat at the end of that game with that throw. That was cool.